Hey everybody, I'm Ebony. This is Ebonee's Creativity. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. In today's video, I am redoing my pantry. This is something I've been looking forward to doing for a while. And now that my island is done, which if you haven't seen my island makeover, it is a 3-part series that you can watch. I will link the videos in the description box below. But I wanted to kind of make my pantry tie in with my new island. And ever since I finished that island project, I've just been so motivated to get these other projects done in my kitchen. So I've got the pantry shelving today, and then I've got another kitchen video coming for you next week. So make sure you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching, and let's hop right on into this video. Here is how my little pantry area currently looks. And it's really dusty. It's not dirty. It's just the dust from my kitchen island, which if you have not seen that video, it is a series of videos right before this one. But I didn't bother to clean it because I'm about to change it anyway. But this was intentionally supposed to be for potatoes and onions and stuff. And eventually it just got demoted to my plastic bag storage. The canisters I do use and they're functional, but I don't like them anymore. So I'm going to be changing those. The brackets are from Dollar Tree. And they've served me well for about 8-9 years now. So I thought they wouldn't last, but they did a really good job. I'm just going for a different look now. And I want to change it. The shelves, I don't have much white in here anymore except for the trim, which may also be changing. I can't decide on what color to do the trim. That's why I did not paint or stain this yet, but I'll get around to it soon. I'm going to focus here first though. I'm going to go ahead and start taking this stuff down and clearing out this area for my new look. So I'm starting out by removing all this stuff. There's not that much stuff up here, so this didn't take too long. Whenever I am doing a project and I don't need the pieces anymore, if I can salvage them, I always sell them on Facebook Marketplace. So in this case, I sold all the brackets and shelves in a bundle for 20 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. Actually, I posted it for 15 just to get rid of it, and the lady brought me a 20 and let me keep the change. So I got 20 bucks off all this stuff, which is probably about what I paid for it a long time ago. So I was really happy with that. So now that it's all removed, I got to cleaning, and I'm just using my mop and some bleach water. Like I said, the wall, most of the surfaces in here are dusty from my kitchen island renovation. Now I'm just using my stud finder to mark out where the studs are. Those brackets that I had on here previously were not in studs, and honestly I expected it to come crashing down at some point, but it didn't. But this time my shelves will be much heavier, so I want to make sure that I mark the studs. Now I'm measuring to try to determine how long I want my shelves to be. Now I've cut up some 2x3s. I made one long piece and then 3 smaller pieces that will go 1, 2, 3, like so. So to attach the 3 prong pieces, I am just using some Titebond. I really love Titebond. It has a really strong hold and it's waterproof in case you need to use it for like an outdoor application, but I digress. I'm using some Titebond and just some brad nails. I was starting to get a little bit afraid that a nail would end up in my finger. So for the next one, I just decided to go ahead and put the prongs down first and then lay the long piece on top and assemble it that way. I had 5 shelves up at first, but I decided this time that I really only needed 4 for functionality purposes, and these are going to be much more substantial, and I didn't want the area to look crowded, so I just opted to make 4 of these this time. So I pre-drilled some holes into each of my brackets that lined up with where my studs are on the wall. And so now I'm just going in with my level. I've already got a screw started to help make it easier for myself. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make my bracket straight and then drill in my screws. I wanted my shelves to be 8 inches deep, so I went to Home Depot to get some 1x8s, but when I did a price comparison of purchasing the pre-cut 1x8s versus purchasing a whole sheet of plywood and having them cut it into 8-inch strips for me, it was a lot cheaper to get the whole sheet, so that's what I did. And of course, I'll use the remainders for some other project. So I've cut my strips of plywood down, my 1x8s down, and now I'm just attaching them with more brad nails to my bracket. And I'm going to have a piece on the top and a piece on the bottom. Next, I cut these little pieces and they will go into the ends of each shelf. I wasn't sure if I should share my measurements with you all because your space might be a different size from mine, so I didn't really think it would matter. I felt like maybe showing how I'm putting this together would be more helpful than the exact measurements that I use for my shelves. But leave a comment below if you want the measurements and I can put it down there in the description box for you. I tried to avoid this windowsill so I wouldn't have to worry about making a precise cut, but I did have to go ahead and do that anyway because all the configurations that I tried ended up hitting this windowsill somehow. So this was easier than I thought. That lets me know that I'm getting really good with my tools, so I'm happy about that. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that was a long time coming. And now I'm just finishing off my shelf by adding this little strip across the front. Looking back at this footage, I really wish I would have tried to miter my edges so that none of my raw or ugly edges would have been exposed, but I am not a professional with doing that, and with wood being priced how it is now, I just didn't want to mess up a bunch of wood. So now my shelves are fully assembled and I am going in with some pre-stained wood conditioner. I've had the same container of pre-stained wood conditioner for a while. I'm not sure if mine is just old or if this stuff gets stronger when it sits for a long period of time or what, but this stuff was really strong, much stronger than I'm used to it being. I had the door open and the windows open, and it seems like it took forever for the smell to leave out of my house. So if you're going to be doing this, you can get the food safe stain that I talked about in my island makeover video. I wish I would have done that because these fumes were really overpowering this time around for me. Comment below and let me know if this stuff gets like stale or stronger as it sits, because these fumes really knocked me out. And if you watch me, you know I never really wear a respirator or anything, but this was stronger, much stronger than normal. So if you're going to build shelves, maybe consider building them outside or staining your wood first and then bringing it inside to assemble it. I've been doing a lot of projects in my kitchen and it's starting to really add up cost-wise. So I decided to try to use some stains that I had on hand to match my cabinets in my kitchen as closely as possible. So here's my little swatches that I made, and I picked what I thought was the closest match. So it was this mix of red mahogany by Verithane, and then I used the SFO by Fusion in the color Cappuccino. The red mahogany gave it like the perfect red undertones, and then the Cappuccino was just like a true brown. So what I ended up with was a brownish red, which is what matches my kitchen cabinets. So I was really happy that I was able to use up some of this stuff that I have on hand. And if you've never seen me stain before, I use up all the old socks that my washer has not eaten, and I collect them and I use those to stain. I put a glove on first and then this sock on top, and I use all those old socks as my staining pad. Here's how these looked while they were still wet. Once they dried, the color got a little bit lighter, of course, and it was the perfect match to my cabinets. I had a couple of these tongue and groove pieces left over from when I did the island makeover, and I didn't want to waste them because these were kind of expensive, and so I just decided to use them on the pantry space to tie the two spaces together. So I'm going to go ahead and spray those to match my island with Fusion's Coal Black. I cut an extra tongue piece off just to fit into the final piece, which had a groove, just to kind of finish it off. So you wouldn't just see that open space on the edge if you walked up close to the shelves. I thought the installation would be easy and I can just connect all my boards and kind of push them into place, but in some areas it was a little testy. I don't think all of my tongue and groove boards were cut to the exact same height, so I ended up having to just install the ones that I could and kind of just wait until the next day. If you can see, it's pitch black outside, so I had to just wait until the next day to be able to go to my saw. So this is what I was able to install on the first day. So this is the next day, and as you can see, the same exact thing happened to me over again. So I just installed what I could this day and had to wait till the next day to go back to my saw and cut these pieces down. Normally I would have just cropped this out, but I like to leave in the bloopers and the things that go wrong, just for you people who get discouraged when you think that when we post everything is going correctly. No, we're able to edit some stuff out and make it look like it went correctly even when it didn't. But I find that it's kind of helpful to see where other people went wrong, and so I'm starting to leave that in even more than I normally do. At this point I'm starting to get kind of frustrated, so I just decided to start attaching what I could, just so that I could start to see some progress being made. Normally, even if things aren't going 100% how I want them to, if I'm able to see some progress being made and steps toward finishing, then I'm able to find some mojo to keep going. So I decided to go ahead and install the couple of boards that I could on this day. On this particular row that I'm working on now, I had to cut around that outlet, so I knew I wouldn't be able to probably finish this row today, but I'm gonna go ahead and nail down everything that I can. So here is the next day, and I was finally able to get all my cuts together. And so now I'm able to go ahead and finish installing all my tongue and groove boards. So after many days, I finally am done installing my boards, and I love the way it looks. And now it's time to decorate. I'm very happy. This is my favorite part of any video, when it's time to decorate. I have a bunch of stuff I've been collecting over time. I thrifted that food scale. I thrifted this little pot. I thrifted most of the stuff that's gonna go up here. The canisters I got from Ross. They were much cheaper at Ross than anywhere else. They can get kind of pricey, so I was happy to find them there. They were like $8 at Ross. And everything else is stuff that I either had. I've got a set of salt and pepper shakers right here from my friend. Some cookbooks that I thrifted. Everything else is pretty much thrifted or things that I've already had. If you've watched my videos before, you know whenever I'm doing a project, I have two goals: one to be functional and two to be pretty. So I definitely think this project hits both of my marks, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it actually didn't cost me that much money. And I got 20 bucks back on selling the old stuff. So I really feel like I'm winning on this project. So leave me a comment and let me know what you think about how these turned out. I also made some more of my DIY library or gallery rails for these shelves, and I think they were a perfect finishing touch to tie this kitchen shelving project into my mantle in the living room. So I'm just kind of trying to make my house more cohesive and these little touches like this that tie things together really help make the whole place cohesive, and I really love how this turned out. I did not cover how to make those in this video because I have a full short on how to make those, so I will link that short in the description box below if you want to learn how to make the DIY gallery rails. But leave me a comment and let me know how you think this turned out. Do you prefer the before or the after? I know when I said I was going to change it, I got a comment saying, no, don't change it, but I really love how it turned out, so hopefully you do too. Leave me a comment and let me know. If you have not already, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you have the time, please select another one of my videos to watch from the choices on your screen or in the description box below, and I will see you all in my next video.